See you.
President Trump traveled to the state of California today to review 8 separate prototypes for his proposed wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. While there, he said this.
The round piece that you see up here, or you see more clearly back there, the larger it is, the better it is, because it's very hard to get over the top. It's really deterrent from getting over the top. Who would think? Who would think? But getting over the top is easy. These are like professional mountain climbers. They're incredible climbers. They can't climb some of these walls. Some of them they can. Those are the walls we're not using.
Democrats in Congress oppose providing funding for the wall, of course, but some go further than that. Recently, some on the left have called for ending all federal border enforcement, period. Senator Kamala Harris of California says that ICE should be abolished entirely. Washington Post editorial today agrees. How is that distinct from having totally open borders? It's not yet clear. Henry Fernandez, a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress, joins us tonight. Henry, thanks for coming on.
Good to be here, Tucker.
So there's obviously a lot of concern about illegal immigration, whatever you think the best solution is. What do you think the downside for American citizens is of illegal immigration?
Well, let's start with this wall that Trump wants to build. And let's remember that he first told us that it was going to be built and paid for by the Mexicans. They've said they won't do that.
I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off, and I'm happy to talk about the wall. But first, I want to get to the predicate for the wall, which is the concern about illegal immigration. Why should we be concerned about it? What are the downsides of illegal immigration for American citizens?
Well, I think you're the one who has this big concern. Immigration, undocumented immigration, people coming into the U.S. without documents or overstaying visas. Yes. Those things are all way down. They've been down virtually every year for some time now. So it's actually not a very significant problem. Instead, this is really something that Trump is drumming up in order to scare people. And it really doesn't have much basis as a serious problem right now. So you don't think that
when people come over, because people do come over, I mean, there are a lot of people apprehended at the border, and there are, of course, more than 10 million illegals living in this country. You don't think that American citizens are hurt in any way by that or have any legitimate reason to be concerned by it?
Again, I'm trying to understand what the big concern is here. What we're talking about is a border wall that would cost somewhere between $60 and $120 billion, money that would just be taxpayers' dollars wasted for something that won't work. The solution,
well, but hold on.
How do you overcome a 30-foot wall with a $32 32-foot ladder that you can get for $300 at Home
I'm familiar with the bumper sticker, though. I wonder if you're concerned at all about the effects on employment. So just to give you one among many examples, there are 7 million American prime-age working men who've dropped out of the labor force. And they tell, there's a recent report by the Fed on this, they tell researchers that the wages that they're competing for are too low, and one of the reasons is because of competition from immigrants. So you don't think that that's a concern at all? That doesn't bother you at all? Is that something you've looked into? Should people be worried about it?
Well, I think if we look at economic analysis, no, that should not be a significant concern for people because immigrants help build the economy, which raises wages. What we've seen is wages are now, as unemployment has come down close to 4%, wages are starting to raise. That's what we would expect in this economy or any economy.
Then why are there
immigrants are essential to growing the economy.
But let me ask you though, why, if we have approximately 11 million people here illegally, and we have, just to name one among many numbers, 7 million American citizen men of working age not working, why wouldn't we prefer the citizens to be working instead of the people who are here illegally? Should we give priority to our citizens, I guess is my question. Do you think that we should?
So I really feel like the premise of the question is missing just basic economics. If we want to create jobs, we need a robust entry of immigrants into this country. That's what allows us to grow jobs in this country. It's
but we have 11. Hold on, we have 11 million. So no, we have 11 million at least. The number may be far higher, but the baseline is 11 million illegal alien workers in this country, and we still have one of the highest workforce non-participation rates in modern history. So how many more illegal workers will we need in order to help American citizens? What do you think the perfect number would be there?
Again, I just reject the entire premise of the question. So you can keep asking it, but
No. I'm trying to get to what you're saying. You're saying we need more illegals here because it helps our economy. We have 11 million.
The economy,
how many more will we need?
I'm trying to answer the question in the only way that I can, which is based on facts, right? And the fact is that immigrants help grow the economy. That's what brings people into the workforce. That's what creates jobs.
Oh, and I'm responding with actual facts by telling you that hasn't worked. So I'm just wondering what would work. Let me ask you this. If you say we face no threat at all from illegal immigrants in this country and our fears are rooted in bigotry or whatever, they're irrational, and that we don't need a wall, well, that's the supposition. I mean, a lot of people are afraid of illegal immigration. You're saying we have no reason to be, so clearly it's irrational, in your opinion. Then why wouldn't we follow the lead of a lot of your fellow Democrats and abolish ICE? Are you for that?
Well, certainly if we look at the fact that we haven't had ICE, we didn't have ICE prior to 9/11, right? So we've certainly been able to do
the same thing.
We've been able to do, well, no, right? It wasn't part of this super agency at DHS, which creates real, what we've seen in the transition to ICE is a real cowboy behavior. This sense of people acting on their own outside of constitutional requirements. So I can see absolutely why Senator Harris would raise such a concern.
So do you think it's a legitimate thing to say, let's abolish ICE? I mean, yes or no? A pretty simple question. You think it is?
I think I answered it. I said I think Kamala Harris raised very serious issues, and I think they should seriously be considered. I think that's
good. I mean, I just want to make sure, look, I don't want to misquote you, and I think our viewers and the country should know what the position is of the progressive left on ICE, and you just explained it, and I appreciate that. Henry, thank you.